You can see from these pictures that there is no oil spewing into the Gulf of Mexico right now, and that's after months and months of trying to get this cap to work. Finally, they're feeling some success is working. This is not a permanent fix, but they're hoping that it's going to hold for now. British Petroleum and government officials are monitoring the pressure in the well. They say that the readings are not as good as they had hoped, but even the president is sounding cautiously optimistic.
The new cap is good news. Either we will be able to use it to stop the flow, or we will be able to use it to capture almost all of the oil until the relief well is done. But we're not going to know for certain which approach makes sense until additional data is in.
It may be Monday before all that data has been analyzed. 5,000 feet down in the Gulf, the cap is in place. It rests on top of a special flange spool that is fastened to the original failed blowout preventer. Yesterday, 3 valves were gradually closed to shut off the oil flow. If they are not able to contain the oil, there are several connection points to allow the oil to be siphoned to the surface. While the oil has stopped, BP is still leaking money. The company says payments to Gulf Coast residents have topped $200 million. Some 32,000 claimants have received one or more payments over the last 10 weeks. About twice as many have been withheld for lack of proper documentation. The wife of one oil worker says she is glad the oil leak has been stopped.
But the truth of the matter is, it's not over. It's not over till there's not one drop of oil in my Gulf. That's what I want, not one drop of oil.
Although the government officials say the pressure readings fall short of their expectations, British Petroleum says those readings are climbing, and the low pressure may be because the well itself is finally becoming depleted. Well, some of the credit for the containment of BP's Gulf oil well may be due to a plumber who's based right here in the Bay Area. Crown 4's Dan Kermit is here to explain the possible local connection to all of this.
Well, it's a pretty amazing story. The Christian Science Monitor is reporting that 6 weeks ago, UC Berkeley engineering professor Robert B., who you see on your screen right here, got a call from an anonymous plumber who had an idea how to stop the leak. He provided the professor with sketches of a containment cap that improved upon some of the initial caps, which had a lot of design flaws, if you remember. Now, the professor passed the sketches onto the Coast Guard and onto a group of experts that was evaluating proposals for repairing the leak. Christian Science Monitor says when Professor B saw the new cap in operation, you see it going on here in this video, he thought it looked quite similar to the designs he had received from the plumber. Now, BP officials say there's no way to find out if there are any connection between what they did and what this plumber's designs were, but again, as we said, he said it's looked pretty reminiscent to him of what he had seen.
Well, of course, we're excited to know that somebody from the Bay Area helped to deal with this catastrophe in the Gulf. Do we know who this guy is?
No, it's just been referred to as an anonymous plumber. The professor said he got a call from an anonymous plumber and just passed the word along, and so maybe this plumber is in part responsible for stopping.
Dealing with one of the major economic disasters in our country. All right, Dan.